Welcome back to another edition of Mantras of the Moment. So this week, our guest has been in the restaurant business for over 20 years and survived so many storms, not least the last 2 years of hospitality. Tom Morgan and his brother Owen set up Bar44, the franchise of restaurants, some 20 years ago, and the business has grown and grown. Here in Cardiff, we have Parador 44, a delicious restaurant that I like to go to, and soon to be a boutique hotel called Parador 44. But they also had the ingenious idea of starting Mercado 44. So Tom, please welcome. First of all, it's lovely to see you. Can you tell our listeners a little bit more about how life has been in these last 2 years?
Yeah, it's been, well, just a roller coaster of emotions, really. We've gone from, building up our hospitality business over 20 years, and suddenly, COVID hit and the doors were shut. And we had 150 staff that were, just heartbroken and devastated, didn't know where the next paycheck was coming from, etc. So it was the first couple of weeks were horrific, really, really bad. And I remember watching the news one night with my wife when Rishi Sunak announced furlough, and just tears started flooding down my face, because it meant we could pay the staff, who were the most important. The customers are important in the business, obviously, but your staff are the true lifeblood of any business, and you want to look after them. So that gave us an opportunity, which was great. And then after, sort of not knowing what to do with yourself for sort of, 9-10 hours a day, 12 hours a day when you're normally working, you got to fill that time with the kids and sort of family and the four walls you're in. But then we decided, we can't just carry on like this. We need to push things forward, as we always do. So we decided to launch, as you mentioned, Mercado 44, which was an online meal box, online shop where you can buy all our amazing produce, dishes, drinks, which went very well during lockdown.
What kind of drinks? What could you buy?
So everything we do is 100% Spanish. On the drink side, with some local produce obviously mixed in there as well. So it would be everything from our own beer, Toro Blanco, right the way through to our spectrum of wines, carvers. Sherries are a huge thing for us. My brother's one of the leading experts on sherry in the world.
Is he? In the world?
In the world,
Really?
He goes around like the whole of the UK and Spain, educating other people on sherry.
I didn't know that.
Can
I just ask you then? Sorry, I'm going to digress. Do you put sherry in a Bloody Mary?
We do, actually.
What do you use? Which one?
So we'd use probably a Tio Pepe. So a nice, really nice, crisp, dry Fino, which just really sort of makes it sing. Brings it to life the morning after.
It's definitely a Sunday job, isn't it? Pre-lunch. All things Spanish, of course. I should have mentioned that. So the love of Spain obviously came from your childhood and your discovery of the Spanish cuisine and Spanish lifestyle and culture, and that has just flooded creatively and innovatively through your business program.
It has. And my brother and my sister and I used to go on family holidays with my parents, obviously when we were young, but not to the usual tourist traps. We go off the beaten track and just find a little chiringuita on the beach and have some amazing boquerones or anchovies that have been come off the boat that day, pickled in-house. Still remember them from when I was 7 now. And that just sort of, that sort of whet the appetite. We're a big food family anyway. And we saw an opening 20 years ago where there wasn't, in the whole of the UK, it was really either pubs or bars and restaurants. And, sort of the old spit and sawdust pubs you'd walk into. If a woman walked in on her own, there'd be sort of raised eyebrows and all this sort of thing in the corner. So we wanted to make, an experience where you could come and have a bite to eat and a drink, but not necessarily a full meal.
Yes.
And somewhere comfortable for anyone to come,
Yeah.
whether male, female, families, etc. So, and that's what we've done.
So you've obviously alluded to, you've been through tough times in 20 years. You would have seen so many different chapters through the decades, and none more so than these last 2 years. And the question I've been asking our guests is, during those difficult times, is there a mantra or a motto or a saying that you use to get you through?
Yeah, and it is literally focus on yourselves.
Brilliant.
Focus on what you do.
Yeah.
I think far too many people, and we've been guilty of it in the past, focus on what's someone else doing, what's the other business down the road, etc., etc. Whereas actually, if you just focus on what you do, try and improve every day, and be the best you can be, and that means in terms of the whole sphere of our business. So whether it's staff education, training, etc., decor, new dishes, pairing menus, all this sort of down to smaller things like little bits of music, what you're going to play in around, all these sort of things. Focus on what you do, and then more often than not, you'll come out positive.
I love that. That is such an important message, because we are, I talk about this. I have spoken about this before. We're so drawn out of ourselves, especially with social media, aren't we? That compare and despair mode is always lingering, of like, oh, do I need to be more like them to be more successful and less like me? And of course, the answer is no. But actually having the commitment to keep tuning in and listening to yourself, listening to your gut instinct, and just saying, as you said, focus on yourself. It's not as easy. It's not as easy as it seems.
It's not at all. And it's really hard to get distracted, this day and age, with all messages flying at you from all types of social media, everything. And everyone, especially when they come to a restaurant, has an opinion, etc., etc. And we often, I remember one of the first time when we opened in Cambridge 20 years ago, someone had come along for some tapas for the evening, walked in, and because we weren't playing the Gypsy Kings through the speakers, they walked straight back out.
Of course, come on.
It wasn't like the tapas bar that they go to in Spain. And so you just gotta you have to sort of take the blows, but then sort of roll with the punches and realize, right, that you can't. You've got to have a vision and focus on that every day, and hopefully people will buy into it. And they came back.
They came back, and like you said, over time, if you just keep to that mantra, focus on yourself, it's going to pay off. So the doubt will creep in. You've got to bat them away. You're going to have moments where you really think, God, will any of this stand up and survive?
Yeah.
But you just keep plodding on with that vision and that mantra, and you get there.
Yeah, exactly.
And 20 years, and you're about to open the hotel, which is super exciting.
Yeah, it's
recipe book. I forgot to mention the recipe book. So that is.
So
we got it there. Let me see it.
Yeah, we brought out in.
Gorgeous.
So in just after first lockdown, we brought out our recipe book, which we've been talking about for years, and it's loads of stories of our trips to Spain.
Amazing. Tapas y copas.
Yeah, tapas y copas. This is our Spain. And it's basically all about our favourite parts of Spain, where we've been influenced by, and then our sort of twist on. There's a lot of classic recipes in there, but our twist and more playful version of those, which people love in the restaurants. So that was a big thing to come out of lockdown.
And I love the fact it's family, that you've always done it as a family. You've done it as a brother and a sister team. You've kept it in the family, and you've taken those childhood memories all the way through, so your kids can enjoy the same thing now.
Exactly. And that was one of the things, actually, I wanted to do a book for a long time, but we've never really had the time to do it because we're so busy day to day.
Yeah.
But COVID afforded us that opportunity. And, it's, for me, it was a really personal, passionate thing.
Yeah.
Be able to say to my kids, here you go, this is what Dad did.
Yeah.
And you know, and great. Look, if it's bestseller, that's brilliant.
Amazing.
But it was more about that.
The passion project, and yet, like you said, a positive to come out of 2 very difficult years. Tom, thank you so much for being a guest on. I love that message. It's a really strong one. Focus on yourself. You are living proof of what can happen when you just ride the storms. Hey.
Yeah, that's it. You've got to keep going and come out the other end.
And here's to the hotel opening. When is it opening?
So we're doing soft openings in May and open to the public then in June, and it's going to be amazing. I
can't wait to come down and see it. Thank you again. Lovely to see you as always.
Okay, Anne, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.